Hello, everyone. My name is Emily. Welcome to English Club. I am so happy to be here with you today. I hope you are all doing wonderfully. Today is a special day because we are going to talk about something really interesting, something that will help you sound more natural when you speak English.
Hello, Emily. How are you doing today?
Hi, Paul. I am doing great. Thank you so much. How about you? How has your day been?
My day has been excellent. Thank you for asking. I am excited about our topic today. It is going to be very useful for our listeners. The weather is nice today, is it not?
Yes, the weather is beautiful. It is sunny and pleasant. Perfect weather for learning something new. Speaking of learning, I want to ask you something. Have you ever given advice to someone in English and felt like something was missing? Like your words did not have the same impact as when a native speaker gives advice?
Yes, I have felt that way. Even when my grammar is correct and my vocabulary is good, sometimes the advice sounds too formal or too stiff. It does not flow naturally. Native speakers seem to have a special way of giving advice that sounds casual and friendly. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, and that is what we are going to talk about today. The secret is idioms. Native English speakers use idioms all the time when giving advice. These idioms make the conversation feel more natural, more authentic. They add color and personality to your words.
Idioms are so important. They are like the secret sauce of natural English. When you use idioms, you sound less like a textbook and more like a real person. But idioms can be tricky. They are not always logical. You cannot just translate them word for word. You need to understand what they really mean.
Exactly. And today we are going to explore some common idioms that native speakers use when giving advice. We will explain what they mean, how to use them, and give you examples. By the end of this conversation, you will have new tools to make your English sound more natural and confident.
That sounds great. I am ready to dive in. But before we start, should we remind our listeners to support the channel?
Yes, good idea. Before we start today's topic, please like and subscribe to our channel for more English learning videos. Your support really means a lot to us. It helps us create more content to help you improve your English.
Yes, please take a moment to like and subscribe. We appreciate every one of you. Your engagement helps us grow and continue making these videos.
Thank you so much. Now, let us talk about advice idioms. Paul, when you think about giving advice in English, what comes to mind?
Well, the basic phrases come to mind, like you should, or you need to, or I recommend that you. These are correct and useful, but they are also very direct and sometimes a bit formal. Native speakers often use more colorful expressions.
Yes, and that's where idioms come in. Let me give you an example. Instead of saying you should be careful, a native speaker might say you should watch your step. This is an idiom. It means the same thing, but it sounds more natural and interesting.
That is a good example. Watch your step is literally about looking where you are walking so you don't trip, but figuratively, it means to be careful in any situation. It could be about making decisions, dealing with people, or handling a difficult situation.
Exactly. The literal meaning and the figurative meaning are related, but not the same. That is what makes idioms interesting and sometimes confusing. Let me ask you, do you know any other idioms for giving advice?
Yes, I know several. One that I hear often is bite the bullet. This idiom means to do something difficult or unpleasant that you have been avoiding. If someone is afraid to go to the dentist, you might say, you just need to bite the bullet and make an appointment.
That is a perfect example. Bite the bullet is such a common idiom. Do you know where it comes from? The origin story is interesting.
I think it comes from old times, maybe during wars, when soldiers had to undergo surgery without anesthesia. They would literally bite on a bullet to help them endure the pain. So the idiom means to endure something difficult with courage.
Yes, that is the origin story. It is quite dramatic. But now we use it for any situation where someone needs to face something unpleasant. It does not have to be as extreme as surgery. It could be having a difficult conversation, paying a big bill, or doing a task you have been procrastinating on.
That is true. Idioms often have interesting historical origins, but we do not need to know the history to use them. We just need to understand the modern meaning and how to use them in context. Can you give me an example sentence with bite the bullet?
Sure. Imagine your friend has been putting off studying for an important exam. You could say, I know you don't want to study, but you need to bite the bullet and start preparing. The exam is next week. This sounds much more natural than saying, you need to force yourself to do the unpleasant task of studying.
Yes, that sounds very natural. The idiom makes the advice feel less harsh, less formal. It's friendly advice. Another idiom I know is get your act together. This means to organize yourself, to stop being messy or irresponsible, and to start behaving properly.
Oh yes, get your act together is very common. It is a bit direct, almost stern. You would use it with someone who is not managing their life well. Maybe they are always late, always forgetting things, or not taking their responsibilities seriously. You might say, you really need to get your act together if you want to keep your job.
Yes, it is strong advice. Not rude, but firm. It shows that the person needs to make changes. There is another similar idiom, shape up or ship out. Do you know this one?
Yes, shape up or ship out is even stronger. It means improve your behavior or leave. Shape up means to improve, to get better. Ship out means to leave, to go away. So the whole phrase is like an ultimatum. Improve or you will have to go.
It is quite direct. You might hear a boss say this to an employee who is not performing well. Or a parent might say it to a teenager who is misbehaving. If you do not shape up and start doing your homework, you are going to fail this semester.
Yes, exactly. These idioms for giving advice have different levels of directness. Some are gentle and friendly, others are firm and serious. You need to choose the right idiom for the situation. You wouldn't use shape up or ship out with your best friend in a casual conversation. That would be too harsh.
That is a good point. Context matters, the relationship matters, and the situation matters. Let's talk about some gentler, friendlier idioms. What about take it easy? This is advice to relax, to not stress too much.
Take it easy is very common and very friendly. If your friend is working too hard and getting stressed, you might say, hey, you should take it easy. Don't overwork yourself. Your health is important.
Yes, it is caring advice. There is a similar idiom, go easy on yourself. This means to not be too hard on yourself, to not criticize yourself too much. If someone is beating themselves up over a mistake, you might say, go easy on yourself. Everyone makes mistakes. You will do better next time.
That is beautiful advice. Go easy on yourself is very compassionate. It acknowledges that we all struggle sometimes and we should treat ourselves with kindness. Another gentle idiom is sleep on it. Do you use this one?
Yes, sleep on it is great advice when someone is facing a difficult decision. It means to wait until tomorrow before deciding. Take time to think. Do not rush. I know you want to accept that job offer, but why don't you sleep on it? Think about it overnight and decide tomorrow with a fresh mind.
That is perfect advice. Sleep on it recognizes that we often make better decisions after we have had time to think, rest, and gain perspective. Rushing into decisions can lead to regret. So this idiom encourages patience and reflection.
Exactly, and there is truth to it. Our brains actually process information while we sleep. So sleeping on a decision can literally help us think more clearly. Another idiom about making decisions is follow your gut. Do you know this one?
Oh yes, follow your gut means to trust your instincts, to trust your intuition. Your gut refers to your gut feeling, that inner sense you have about something. If someone is torn between two choices and logic is not helping, you might say, just follow your gut. What does your intuition tell you?
That is good advice in many situations. Sometimes we overthink things. We make lists of pros and cons. We analyze everything. But in the end, our gut feeling is often right. Our subconscious mind picks up on things that our conscious mind misses.
Yes, and follow your gut validates that inner knowing. It tells someone to trust themselves. There is another idiom about trust your judgment. This is similar but slightly different. It is more about trusting your ability to make good decisions based on your experience and wisdom.
Yes, trust your judgment emphasizes the rational side more than the intuitive side. But both idioms encourage self-confidence. They tell someone you know what is best for you. Another idiom about confidence is believe in yourself, though this is less of an idiom and more of a common phrase.
That is true. Some expressions are on the border between idiom and common phrase. The important thing is that they all add naturalness to your English. Now let us talk about some idioms that are more about taking action. What about take the bull by the horns?
Take the bull by the horns is a great idiom. It means to directly confront a difficult situation, to deal with a problem head-on instead of avoiding it. If someone is facing a challenge and they are scared or hesitant, you might say, you need to take the bull by the horns and face this problem.
Yes, it is about being brave and proactive. The image is of a person grabbing a bull by its horns to control it. It is a bold, courageous action. The idiom suggests that sometimes the best way to handle a problem is to face it directly, even if it is scary.
That is right. Another action idiom is get the ball rolling. This means to start something, to initiate action. If a group is planning a project but nobody is taking the first step, someone might say, come on, let us get the ball rolling. We need to start working on this. Get the ball rolling is about momentum. Once you start, things become easier. But starting is often the hardest part. So this idiom encourages people to just begin, to take that first step. There is a similar idiom, the early bird gets the worm. Do you know this one?
Yes, the early bird gets the worm means that people who act quickly or arrive early get the best opportunities. If you sleep late, someone else will take the opportunity. It is advice to be proactive, to not delay. If you want that apartment, you should go see it today. The early bird gets the worm.
Exactly. This idiom emphasizes timing and promptness. In competitive situations, being first or being early gives you an advantage. It is practical advice. Another practical idiom is look before you leap. What does this mean?
Look before you leap means to think carefully before taking action, to consider the consequences before making a decision. It is the opposite of being impulsive. If someone wants to quit their job without having another one lined up, you might say, look before you leap. Make sure you have a plan before you quit.
Yes, it is about being careful and thoughtful. The image is of someone jumping and not looking where they are landing. That could be dangerous. So the idiom advises caution. It says, think first, act second. This is wise advice in many situations.
It balances the other idioms we talked about. Some idioms encourage action and courage. Others encourage caution and reflection. Both types are valuable. It depends on the situation. Now, let me ask you about an idiom I find interesting. Better safe than sorry. What do you think about this one?
Better safe than sorry is excellent advice. It means it is better to be careful and avoid problems than to take risks and regret it later. If someone is wondering whether to bring an umbrella, you might say, take the umbrella. Better safe than sorry. It is about prevention and preparation.
Yes, it is about risk management. The idiom suggests that the inconvenience of being overly careful is less than the trouble of dealing with a problem. I use this idiom often. It applies to so many situations. Insurance, health checkups, backing up computer files, bringing extra money when traveling.
Absolutely. Better safe than sorry is practical wisdom. Another practical idiom is do not put all your eggs in one basket. This is about not risking everything on one option. Diversify, have backup plans.
Yes, do not put all your eggs in one basket is especially used for financial advice. Don't invest all your money in one stock. Don't apply to only one university. Don't rely on only one source of income. Spread your risk. If someone is thinking about investing all their savings in one business, you might say, I would not do that. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. What if the business fails?
That is very sensible advice. The image is clear. If you are carrying all your eggs in one basket and you drop it, all your eggs break. But if you have multiple baskets, you can afford to lose one. It is about security and risk management.
Exactly. These practical idioms are some of the most useful for giving advice. They contain real wisdom. Let me ask you about another one. A penny saved is a penny earned. This is about saving money, right?
Yes, a penny saved is a penny earned means that saving money is just as valuable as earning money. If you save $1 by not buying something unnecessary, that is like earning $1. It is advice about being frugal and not wasting money. Do you really need to buy that expensive coffee every day? Remember, a penny saved is a penny earned.
That is good financial advice. Though I must say, sometimes the expensive coffee is worth it. But the principle is sound. Being mindful of spending is important. Another money idiom is money does not grow on trees. This means money is limited. You cannot just get more whenever you want.
Yes, money does not grow on trees is something parents often say to children who are asking for things. Can I have this toy? Can we go to the amusement park? And the parent says, money does not grow on trees. We need to be careful with our spending. It teaches children that money is earned through work. It is not infinite.
That is a valuable lesson. These idioms pass down wisdom from generation to generation. They are not just language, they are culture, they are values. When you learn idioms, you are learning how native speakers think, what they believe is important.
That is such an important point. Idioms reveal culture. They show what a society values. English idioms show that English speakers value action, courage, caution, wisdom, hard work, and common sense. These themes appear again and again in the idioms. Yes, and learning idioms helps you understand the culture better. It also helps you connect with native speakers. When you use an idiom correctly, native speakers recognize it. They feel like you understand them. It builds rapport.
Absolutely. Now let us talk about some idioms that are specifically about giving advice in conversations. Sometimes we want to give advice gently without being pushy. There are idioms for this too. One is, if I were you. This is a polite way to give advice without being too direct.
Yes, if I were you softens the advice. Instead of saying you should do this, you say, if I were you, I would do this. It is more diplomatic. It acknowledges that you are offering your opinion, not commanding them. If I were you, I would apologize to her. She seems really upset.
That is much gentler than saying you need to apologize to her. The person receiving the advice feels less pressured. They can consider your suggestion without feeling forced. Another gentle phrase is you might want to. This also softens advice.
You might want to is very polite. You might want to bring a jacket. It might get cold later. This is softer than you should bring a jacket. It is a suggestion, not an order. Native speakers use these softeners all the time to be polite.
Yes, politeness is very important in English-speaking cultures. Direct commands can sound rude, even when you have good intentions. So we use these softening phrases and idioms. Another one is, it would not hurt to. This suggests trying something with minimal risk.
It would not hurt to is clever. It implies this might help, and even if it doesn't, nothing bad will happen. For example, it would not hurt to double-check your work before submitting it. This is gentle encouragement to be thorough.
Yes, and there is another similar one, you have nothing to lose. This means trying something has no downside. Why don't you apply for that job? You have nothing to lose. The worst they can say is no.
That encourages people to take opportunities without fear. Sometimes people need that little push. Now, there are also idioms for when you want to tell someone not to do something. One is, don't bite off more than you can chew. What does this mean?
Do not bite off more than you can chew means do not take on more responsibilities or challenges than you can handle. The literal meaning is about taking a bite of food that is too big for your mouth. Figuratively, it is about overcommitting. I know you want to volunteer for that project, but you are already so busy. Do not bite off more than you can chew.
Yes, it is advice about knowing your limits, about being realistic. Taking on too much leads to stress, poor quality work, or failure. It is better to do a few things well than many things poorly. Another idiom about limits is know when to quit, or quit while you are ahead.
Quit while you are ahead means to stop doing something when you are successful before things go wrong. It is often used in gambling. If you are winning money, you should stop playing before you start losing. But it applies to other situations too. You have made some good points in this argument. Maybe you should quit while you are ahead and not push it further.
That is smart advice. Sometimes continuing causes problems. Knowing when to stop is wisdom. There's another related idiom, leave well enough alone.
That is smart advice. This means if something is working fine, do not try to change it or improve it because you might make it worse.
Yes, leave well enough alone is about not fixing what is not broken. The system is working okay. I know it is not perfect, but leave well enough alone. If we change it, we might create new problems.
This is cautious advice. It warns against unnecessary change.
That is sensible in some situations, though sometimes change is necessary, even if things are working okay. It depends on the context. Let us talk about some idioms that are about learning from experience. One is learn from your mistakes.
Learn from your mistakes is straightforward advice. Everyone makes mistakes. What matters is whether you learn from them so you don't repeat them. I know you feel bad about what happened, but learn from your mistakes. Next time, you will know better.
Yes, it is encouraging advice. It reframes mistakes as learning opportunities. There's a famous idiom related to this, once bitten, twice shy.
Do you know this one? Yes, once bitten, twice shy means that if you have a bad experience with something, you will be more cautious about it in the future. If a dog bites you, you will be shy or nervous around dogs afterward. She invested in that company and lost money. Now she will not invest in startups anymore. Once bitten, twice shy.
That makes sense. Bad experiences teach us to be careful, though sometimes people become too cautious and miss good opportunities. It's a balance. Another experience idiom is hindsight is 2020. This means it is easy to understand something after it has happened, but difficult to predict it beforehand.
Yes, hindsight is perspective. 2020 vision is perfect vision. So hindsight, looking back, gives you perfect clarity. But foresight, looking forward, is unclear. I should have studied harder for that exam, but hindsight is 2020. I didn't know how hard it would be. This idiom is often used when someone regrets a decision.
It is a compassionate idiom. It acknowledges that we cannot predict the future perfectly. We make the best decisions we can with the information we have. We should not be too hard on ourselves for not knowing what would happen. Speaking of compassion, there's an idiom, cut yourself some slack. What does this mean?
Cut yourself some slack means to be less critical of yourself, to give yourself a break. Slack refers to looseness in a rope. If a rope is too tight, there is no slack. So cutting slack means to loosen up, to be less strict. You did not fail that presentation. It was actually pretty good. Cut yourself some slack.
That is kind advice. Many people are their own harshest critics. This idiom encourages self-compassion. There is a similar one for treating others, cut them some slack. This means to be less critical of others, to be more understanding.
Yes, cut them some slack is about giving others grace, recognizing that everyone has bad days, everyone makes mistakes. I know he was late to the meeting, but cut him some slack. His car broke down this morning. It is advice to be more forgiving and understanding.
These are beautiful idioms. They are not just about language, they are about values, like kindness and understanding. Now, let us talk about some idioms that are more informal or casual. These are idioms you might use with friends. One is go for it. This is encouragement to try something.
Go for it is very casual and enthusiastic. If your friend is nervous about trying something new, you say, go for it. It is like saying, do it, you can do it, I believe in you. It is positive encouragement. I'm thinking about asking her out on a date.
Go for it. What is the worst that could happen?
Yes, go for it is all about taking chances. It is optimistic advice. Another casual one is just do it. This became famous because of a Nike advertisement, but it was a common phrase before that. It means to stop overthinking and just take action.
Just do it is direct and motivating. It is for when someone is procrastinating or doubting themselves.
I don't know if I should apply for that scholarship.
Just do it. The application only takes an hour. What do you have to lose?
Exactly. Simple, direct, effective. Another casual idiom is give it a shot. This means to try something, even if you're not sure you'll succeed. I have never played tennis before.
Why don't you give it a shot? You might enjoy it. It is advice to be more encouraging without being pushy. It acknowledges that trying something new involves uncertainty, but encourages you to try anyway.
There is another similar one, give it a go. This is more common in British English, I think.
Yes, give it a go is British. It means the same thing as give it a shot. Try it, attempt it. Both are friendly, casual advice. Now, there are some idioms that are warnings. They tell you to be careful or avoid something. One is watch out. This is a warning to be alert to danger.
Watch out can be immediate, like if someone is about to walk into a pole, you yell, watch out. But it can also be general advice. Watch out for scams when shopping online. It means to be cautious and aware of potential problems.
Yes, and there is be careful, which is straightforward. But there is also tread carefully, which is more colorful. Tread means to walk, so tread carefully means to walk carefully. Figuratively, it means to proceed cautiously in a situation. That is a sensitive topic. Tread carefully when you bring it up with her.
Tread carefully is good advice for delicate situations. It acknowledges that you need to proceed, but you need to be very careful about how you do it. Another warning idiom is don't count your chickens before they hatch. Yes, do not count your chickens before they hatch is about managing expectations. If you have chicken eggs, you might assume they will all hatch into chickens, but some might not hatch. So do not count them until they actually hatch. I know you think you will get that job, but do not count your chickens before they hatch. Wait until you get the official offer.
That is wise advice. It prevents disappointment. Being optimistic is good, but being premature is risky. Another similar idiom is do not celebrate too early, or it is not over until it is over. These all convey the same idea. Wait until things are certain before celebrating.
Yes, these are all about patience and realism. Well, Emily, we have covered so many idioms today. This has been such a rich conversation. I think our listeners have learned a lot.
I hope so. We talked about idioms for encouragement, caution, action, wisdom, and so much more. The key takeaway is that idioms make your English sound natural. They add color and personality. They help you connect with native speakers.
And the best way to learn idioms is to hear them in context, understand what they mean, and then practice using them. Do not try to memorize all of them at once. Pick a few that you like and start using them. Gradually, you will build up your collection of idioms.
That is excellent advice. Start small. Use 1 or 2 idioms this week. Pay attention to when native speakers use idioms. Notice the context, notice the tone, then try using them yourself. With practice, they will become natural for you.
Exactly. And do not be afraid to make mistakes. If you use an idiom wrong, that is okay. That is how you learn. Native speakers will usually understand what you meant, and they will appreciate that you are trying to speak more naturally.
Yes, making mistakes is part of learning. And most native speakers are very patient and helpful with language learners. They want to help you improve. So do not let fear hold you back. Use those idioms. Practice giving advice the way native speakers do.
Well said. Now, before we finish, let us ask our listeners a question. We want to hear from them.
Yes, great idea. Dear listeners, we want to know, which idiom from today's conversation did you find most interesting or useful? And do you have any advice idioms in your native language? Please leave a comment below. We would love to hear from you.
Yes, please share with us. Comparing idioms across languages is fascinating. Sometimes they are similar, sometimes completely different. Your comments will help everyone learn.
And while you're here, please like this video if you found it helpful. Your like tells us you enjoyed the content and want more videos like this.
And please subscribe to English Club for more English learning videos. We create content regularly to help you improve your English naturally through real conversations.
Please like and subscribe to English Club for more English learning videos. Thank you so much for listening today. Thank you for spending your time with us learning about advice idioms.
Thank you, everyone. We hope this conversation helps you sound more like a native speaker. Remember, practice makes perfect. Start using these idioms today.
Yes, give it a shot. See what I did there? I used an idiom. That is how you do it. Just start using them naturally in your conversations.
Perfect example, Emily. Well, take care, everyone. Until next time.
Until next time. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.